Welcome everybody to this week's episode of the CD Sport Podcast with me, Kerry Davis. Joining us today is an Australian MMA pioneer and UFC veteran, Kyle Noke. What's happening, Kyle?
Not much. What's going on?
Fresh back from your holidays. I see.
Yes, just went up to Port Douglas. Had to get away. The missus starts a job next week, so we're like, we got to get away now before she starts work. Hey, but before we go, Kerry, I want to just let you know that map behind you is not quite centered with your head.
We were talking before, and I was like, "Fuck, this map's really pissing me off. I can't get a center." Looks pretty center on my end. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The OCD is getting the best of me, but
yeah,
looks all right now. No, it's but you say you're one of the lucky ones who can go on holidays at the minute. We still stuck in lockdown over here.
Yeah, I know. Australia's so big though. Like we flew a couple of hours away and we're still in Queensland in the same state. So, it's just a whole different area. It was good just to get away. It rained nearly the whole time, but we didn't care.
No, it was nice to get away, wasn't it? Do you have to wear a mask on the plane and stuff still, or no?
Yeah, mask on the plane, and then once we got there, we were good. We went out diving on the reef and all that every day.
So just mask on the plane and airport, but when you're there, nothing at all?
Yeah, or you can take the mask off when you eat or when you do something else. And then the baby, I had a little baby, she didn't have to wear the mask. So I don't know what the rules are.
I'd say congratulations too. You're a father again, aren't you?
Yes, new little baby girl again.
Awesome.
Thank you.
How's it all going? A few sleepless nights?
No, it's good now. She'll go to bed at 7 o'clock and won't wake up till 7 the next day. So
bloody hell, is it?
Yeah, the last couple of weeks we just had perfect sleep.
That's awesome. I'd say you be getting the missus out of bed to sort it out anyway, would you? You love your baby.
No, she gets me out of bed. Because you don't want to let her not have any sleep because then she's a nightmare. No. So let her get as much sleep as she can and then it makes my life easy.
They say happy wife, happy life, don't they? That's the old saying.
Something like that, yep.
No, so going back a couple of years ago, Kyle, I know you're living in the Sunshine Coast now in Queensland. But you're actually born and bred Dubbo, aren't you? In little country town in New South Wales.
Yeah, I was. Grew up in Dubbo and spent most of my teenage years there. Had a little stint in Sydney and then back to Dubbo, another little stint up here, then back to Dubbo, and then moved up here when I was 21.
21, you moved to Sunshine Coast? Oh, right.
Yeah.
I thought you were up there like a lot younger. Oh, so you only...
Nah, yeah. I did move up when I was about 16, 17 and then went back again.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So when you were in Dubbo, obviously, I know you got Nelson. How many brothers you got? Hello?
3 brothers.
3 brothers. I've met Nelson. Have I met your other brother? I don't know.
I've got a brother that's 11 months older than me, looks almost identical to me. And then I've got a younger brother, Denham, who's 4 years younger than me. I don't know if you met him, though.
No. Nelson I've met, haven't I?
Yes, Nelson for sure.
Yeah. So you boys in Dubbo, back in the early days, were you up to no good? Were you a bit of a scrapper and stuff in Dubbo and stuff?
Yeah, yes and no. My dad taught me how to box when I was a little kid, so we always knew how to handle ourselves. Nelson taught me how to fight as well. But then, we used to get in trouble off Dad. Like, he'd say to us, don't ever start a fight. But if you ever back down from a fight, I'll get up you as well. So, we sort of grew up with that Dad giving it to us and telling us that we had to fight if we had to defend ourselves. But, growing up in Dubbo, it's a small community and there's a lot of local guys there and there's nothing else to do. So we usually go out and we have a fair few fights, yeah.
Well, so you weren't looking for it then. They'd normally come to you boys.
Yeah, it's a country town with nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So it was something for us to do on the weekends. We'd all go out and have a drink and then, some of my mates would even call up some other group of guys like, hey, you want to meet up for a fight? And we'd all go and have a fight.
Like gang fights in Dubbo.
Yeah, but just one-on-one still. This was like 30 years ago, so 25 years ago.
One-on-one
in a country town. So there was never really people jumping in each other. It was always a fair fight, and then once someone had enough, everyone stopped.
Yeah, right. So obviously you were like doing a lot of fighting as a youngster. Was that when you thought maybe I want to do this as a profession, or was it that wasn't really the case?
No, I enjoyed fighting. Like me and Nelson, my oldest brother, used to watch Bruce Lee movies and Van Damme and that. as soon as the movie was over, me and Nelson were out the front sparring for hours, just like trying to do everything we saw in the movies. So I always loved martial arts, and I never even knew about the UFC until I moved to the Sunshine Coast. So growing up, I didn't even know it was an option. And then when I got to the Sunny Coast, one of my buddies asked me, Tony Green, I'd only been training for a couple of weeks. He said, "Oh, you're pretty good. Do you want to have a fight?" And I was like, "Fucking oath I do." And then not long after that, I had my first fight. So I think I was 22 by the time I fought, almost 23 for my first fight.
Without training?
Oh, I had a month and a half of training, probably 2 months.
And then you went in there, was it a cage then, or was it like a ring?
No, it was a ring, and we weren't even allowed to strap our hands. We had to just gloves straight on the hand.
Well, like obviously MMA gloves, not
yeah, MMA gloves, but no strapping on the knuckles, nothing on the wrist, no nothing.
That's mad. I say, I remember John was telling me this story before, but you know, your first ever jiu-jitsu session, did you like sub a purple belt first ever sesh, and you just grabbed him on the neck or something like that? I don't know, something like that, was it?
I grabbed him and pushed his head forward and pulled his arm back. I took his back, and I didn't know too much. He wasn't giving me a choke, and that's probably the only thing I knew. So I was just like, I'm just going to try to manhandle him, and I just pushed his head forward and pulled his arm back this way above his head, and he ended up tapping. So is that even a
choke?
I was hooked on the first one. Someone would just spin out now. I don't know. Someone would just turn around. I don't know. I just went for it.
That's crazy, but yeah. So obviously, before you were got into fight, well, I think this is the story, but you were actually am I right? Were you Steve Irwin's bodyguard?
Yeah, Steve's personal security.
Personal security.
So he didn't really need a bodyguard. We were more there to stop people from harassing him and let him get from A to B without sort of getting interrupted. Yeah, he's a busy man, so places to go. So he'd always be back and forth. And anytime he tried to go anywhere in the zoo, someone would stop him for photos and end up being late for a meeting or late for the show or stuff like that. He never really left the zoo too much. And when he did, we went with him. Like we'd go to the movies with him or something like that. But he hardly ever left. He just loved doing everything there. So if he did go, we'd go with him. Like I went to Tasmania with him when he had to go down there. I went to a few places with him. But, he stayed at home a lot too.
Yeah, chilled at home, yeah. So when you were Steve's assistant, were you fighting then, or was that before fighting?
No, I was already fighting. My coach at the time, Dan Higgins, was working there as his personal security as well.
Right, yeah.
And he was looking for someone else because Dan had introduced him to mixed martial arts, and he wanted someone else to come on the security team that could fight. And I was looking for a job at the time, so Dan's like, "Oh, I'll ask Steve if you can have a job." So I went in there I already had probably 3 or 4 fights at this time, 5, 6 maybe. And then I went in for the interview. And I still remember that Steve was there, my coach, Dan Higgins, was there, and then the HR department were there. And the HR started me, said, "Oh, if you start, you're going to have to wear a uniform." Steve's like, "No, he's not. He's going to be one of my security. That's it." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Will you be starting on this wage?" And he's like, "No, he's not. He's doing this." And then she goes, "Oh, well, there's no point in me being here then, is there?" And he's like, "No, probably not." So she left, and as soon as she left, he's like, "Right, you got the job. Now let's talk about fighting."
Straight into it. That's what he wanted to talk about fighting. That's crazy.
So that was our job. Yeah, we'd meet him at the zoo. Actually, we started meeting him at the zoo before, like around work time, and then he built a cage at the zoo for us to train in. So we'd meet him there and train, and then he'd cook us a barbecue afterwards, and we'd hang around. And if he wasn't doing nothing, he'd send us home, and if he was doing something, we'd stick around and help him out.
That's awesome. I say on your Instagram, there's a photo of like Steve throwing a kick at you or something like that, was it? Or was it? Yeah, you're sparring or something. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he was wild, man. He's very smart too, and he was good to have in the corner to help watch the fights and give you some information. But he was crazy. Like one day he's like, "You know what? I'm just not feeling like what would happen if we were in a bar fight and I just come at you all aggressive? Like I think I'd be able to go overpower you." And I'm like, "All right, cool. You try and do that, and I'll use technique and see how we go." He's like, "Yeah, let's do that." And he'd come throwing wild at me, and I just sort of sit back and pop him and keep on punching him down the line straight with proper technique. And he'd sort of drop to a knee, and then he'd go, "All right," and he'd go again. And I dropped him to a knee again, and then he went, "Yeah, all right, technique works. Let's go back to technique."
You'd be freakish.
But he had to do everything himself. Like he had to do it himself to believe that, okay, then this works better.
You have to
There's
feel
another time I remember, he wasn't, he's like, you know what? He said to my coach, Danny, he said, I'm just not feeling these body shots. He said, I don't respect them. Like, I've never been dropped with them. I don't think they work. And Danny's like, all right, well, I'll try and hit you with a few. And it's exactly the same thing. He sparred him, dropped him once with a body shot, this kind of soft one, which sort of just dropped him for a second. And then the second body shot, he got him and really ripped him. And Steve was like, all right, I respect him now. I know what they're about.
Yeah. So he'd actually, like you said, he'd want to feel it. He'd want to know himself. He'd want to.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Hands on.
You would have freak strength, would he? Like grappling?
Oh, freakishly, especially pulling you in. His whole life, like grabbing animals and crocodiles. Everything that he done inwards was phenomenally strong.
Yeah, it's awesome. And obviously, you were pretty hands-on with yourself for the Crocs too, wasn't you?
Yeah, we were lucky enough. He used to take us up in North Queensland to Lakefield for about 2 months of every year. We'd go up there around August time and catch crocodiles. And we had like some researchers come with us and scientists, and we used to attach satellite trackers to them to see how, like, at the end, everyone knew how far they dove and all that. It was just by watching Crocs and learning from them that way. But we were one of the first to actually put satellite trackers on them so we could see how deep they were diving, how long they were going underwater for, how far they were going. So, yeah, Steve was, integral in finding all that information out today.
Right. Like, I know it might sound stupid. So what do you do? Do you literally like jump on a croc to hold him down and tag him? That's how it is.
So we'd set up some traps with some meat in them at Crocs Hunt at night time. So we'd set them all up all day long, go back to camp, sleep the night, wake up the next morning, check the traps in the boat. And if we had a croc, we'd go and tie some rope around its mouth, and Steve would pull it out. And then we'd make it do a couple of death rolls and wrap its mouth around the rope, and then we'd jump on top of it and hold it down. And then while we were holding it down, a scientist would come along and drill some holes in their scoots, which are the little things on the back of their neck, the little things that stick out of the water, little spikes. We drill some holes in that, and then at first we'd attach a satellite tracker to there, and then after a while the tracker would dissolve and fall off, float to the top, and we'd have to come and collect it. And then we worked out that if we just cut them open in the side there and put a little device inside them and sew them back up, we could track them forever that way.
Up to this day, they'd still be getting tracked. Yeah, they would be. Yeah, the crocodiles lived for like 200 years, don't they? Like dinosaurs.
I have no idea how long they live. But they are dinosaurs, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah, I almost got bit by one up there.
Bloody hell, mate. You get more nervous jumping on a croc than a fight, though?
No. After I almost got bit, when the next croc, he made me jump on the very next croc, and I was nervous as hell for that one. The other one just skinned my legs, like just skinned it like this.
Yeah.
That's how close it was to ripping my leg off.
Bloody hell.
And I had a big scratch up my leg and blood and everything on there.
That's crazy. And obviously, like, that's the Crocs, but I'm terrified of snakes as well. Like, you'd be straight in with snakes and everything, would you?
No, I'm the same. I will pick them up if I know they're not venomous. But every time I pick up a snake, I get bitten. So I try not to mess with them too much, especially if they're big. I just pick up a little one.
Yeah.
But I have to have someone there that knows snakes to say that's not venomous.
Yeah, right. I'd say like a big python probably a bit safer than a little one, isn't it? Would you say? Or no? Well, the python is sticks on your shoulders, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I'm not going to try and grab a big python.
No.
I'll stay away. They've got sharp teeth and they'll slice you straight open.
Yeah, I don't like
that. That's why the little ones are all right. They can just bite your finger or something.
Yeah. Oh, like thinking of snakes now. My eyes are stand up. I'm that scared of them, honest to God. No, I say, but yeah, I used to love Steve Irwin. Like, he was massive over in the UK as well. John's probably told you. And like every Sunday I'd watch his show was the Crocodile Hunter Diaries, wasn't it? Was that on?
Yep.
Every Sunday, hungover after a Saturday night, I'd lay on my couch and I'd watch it with the old man who loved him, honestly. And it was like a massive shock, obviously, what happened to him. And God bless Steve Irwin. He was the man, you know. So I know you were close with him. So yeah, it must have affected a lot. Like
I was actually, when I found out, I just left 2 weeks before he passed, and we're on a croc trip catching crocs, and I'd left to go to America for a fight, and then I got the news while I was over there that he'd passed, so I just cancelled the fight and flew straight home again.
Yeah. saying that's how much it meant to you, isn't it? Cancelling a fight and just
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. He was the reason I was over there. He was paying for my trips to go over there at the start, and really pushing me to pursue my career.
So he was like your a sponsor type, like big sponsor for you, was he?
Really? Yeah, basically. And so he'd pay for my flights and make sure I had enough money and everything like that, and really pushed me. But then he also wanted to have a fight himself.
Did he ever did you ever manage to have one? No.
No, he didn't. I think I've told this before to someone else. He originally wanted to fight Wesley Snipes. He wanted to have a charity fight. Because the only way he could do it was have a charity fight, right? You couldn't have Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter, start fighting people. So he said, oh, no, I'll do it for charity and we'll make it right. And he wanted to do it in the UFC. And he's like, I'll fight Wesley Snipes. And then he found out, because Steve's about the same height as me, he's like 6'2". He was anywhere between 90 to 100 kilos, depending how he diet was. But he wanted to fight Wesley Snipes. And he found out Wesley Snipes was only 5'4" or something, or 5'6". And he's like, oh, no, he's too small. I'll fight Vin Diesel. So then he made me go to the movies with him to watch Vin Diesel, The Pacifier, which is a kids' movie about him looking after little kids. Just to size him up to see how he looked on screen. Like, oh yeah, no, I could take him.
Oh my God, it made me laugh.
Yeah,
he's trying to size him up from the cinema.
From the cinema. Just the only reason we went there to size him up, and I think it was about 40 minutes into it, he went, well, I got him, let's go, come on. And we just left the movie.
Oh, it's tickled me, that's bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I say, you could have picked like Fast and Furious, Vin Diesel, proper badass now, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, or Pitch Black or something.
Pitch Black, yeah.
Chronicles of Riddick or something.
Oh, bloody hell. That made me laugh. I've lost my train of thought now. That's tickling me. No, yeah, so you were saying, that's it. You've got your record here. You've had 32 fights in your career, in a professional career, I should say. Mm-hmm. But your first 17 fights were in Australia. So,
yes.
I see, I've done my research, Kyle. Bye. So, were you training in Australia for your first time? Like, were you say?
I was training in Australia for most of them at the start.
Yeah, right.
And I can't remember whereabouts when I started going to the States to fight, but I was going there training at the start and then flying back. I can't remember, probably 2006. Steve first sent me over, and I'd go over there with my coach Dan Higgins, and we'd go to Jackson's and train, and then come back and have a fight here, and we go back again, have a fight here, and then it was a while after Steve passed. So I think I stayed around the zoo for another year, and then I just really felt this urge for myself to go over there and just really see how far I could take it. So, I quit my job, moved over there, sold everything I had, broke up with my girlfriend, and basically moved to the States to try to pursue it full time. Because back then, the UFC weren't really looking at Australian fighters to get there. They sort of didn't respect us as much. I went over to the States and had a few fights, and then was lucky enough to make it to Ultimate Fighter, and then, went on from then.
Were you the first Australian in the UFC?
No, I definitely wasn't the first. I think Elvis Sinisic or Chris Haseman may have been the first way back in the day. So Elvis fought Tito for the title, actually.
Yeah, I remember.
But, and then even when I was in the house, guys like James Tahuna and George Soteropoulos had already been in there with, mixed wins and losses.
So you say you did the Ultimate Fighter. That's how was that? Is it scripted? Is it like when you're in the house?
No, not really. It's they actually don't script none of it. So it's all as you see it. But it was. I didn't mind it so much. Living in the house, I hate fighting friends. And then when you're in the house, you form these friendships with guys, and then you have to fight them at some point in the show. So it's hard that way. And then you're also not around your team, and you're not warming up the way you normally warm up. You don't do the things that you normally do. So it's really a mindset when you're in there. You have to overcome is being out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and obviously now I know it's the new norm at the minute, but was it the Apex when you were doing it then? UFC Apex.
No, the Apex was a kissing belt like around the time I retired, but it wasn't finished yet. But
you were fighting in like an empty, just a cage and just your corner.
Yeah.
It was like...
Yeah, so you go in there and then it's just there's a couple of there's like Dana White's there's a few other people. There's maybe a couple of fighters that just want to come and watch that live in Vegas. So it was probably about 30 people in there watching a fight. And then we're all backstage warming up. And I remember before my very first fight, one guy, Clayton McKinney, I think his name is, broke this guy's nose so bad that it's all squashed in and it's like dead. If you looked at him side on, it was dead flat. Mm. And that was the fight right before mine, and everyone's going, "Oh shit! I hope that doesn't happen to my nose," and they're like saying shit like that. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, "Fuck that!" I said, "I'm going to be able to do that to someone else. Like I don't give a shit, you know." So it was funny. People's different mindsets. They were scared of it and hoping it wasn't happening. I'm like, "It's not going to happen to me. I'm going out there to win."
Yeah, exactly. What would the chances be in it? Like twice in a row, something like that would happen in a fight, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
You don't see that often, do you?
No.
So you did. Well, that's another thing. Who was your? You were Tito Ortiz. Was he your coach?
No, Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell. Oh, fuck! I did the wrong way around. But yeah, they were the two coaches, weren't they?
Yep.
And obviously they were the main men back in the day, weren't they?
Yeah, they were the two poster boys for sure.
The Conor McGregor's type thing. So that must have been awesome for you as well. Like, you know, being around them and all that.
Yeah. They were both cool dudes, Tito and Chuck. Chuck was super cool, man. Like when I try to tell people in Australia when they ask me what he's like, I say he's probably the most like an Australian person, like someone that's from here than anyone I know. He's easygoing, didn't really care about too much. Easy to get along with, you know, sit down, tell stories, laugh, try to do everything for you. He's a good dude. He's a good guy.
The Iceman, they call him, don't they?
No, Iceman. Love to party.
Loves the party, he said.
Loves to party.
That's awesome. So you did your gone blank now. What's it called? Not Contender Series.
The
Ultimate Fighter.
Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I had a brain freeze then. You done that. So you got the contract then straight away, UFC fighter.
Yeah, they after the show had finished, they called me up, said we're fighting in the the finale and all that. You're fighting Josh Bryant.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. And no one had a contract at that point. You've got to either win, or if you don't win, at least have a hell of a fight where they're like, we need this guy. I was lucky enough to knock my dude out in the second round. So after that I was given a contract, and then went for it.
To the races then, and you had 12 fights in UFC, which is bloody impressive. 12 fights.
Yeah. Should have had more, you know, sidelined by lots of injuries throughout my career. So there was times there I wouldn't fight for a year or two and then have to come back, and then a couple of fights in, get injured again and have more time off and then try and come back again. Yeah, it gets to you after a while.
What was your worst injury as a fighter?
Probably I had my MCL torn completely, my patella tendon torn completely, so my kneecap would sit over the side. I used to be able to pull my kneecap and put it back in front of my knee and watch it slide back around to the side again. So, that was pretty bad. That was training. I was supposed to fight Akiyama in Japan. And one of my training buddies, we were sparring, and I'd pushed him up against the wall, and I went to throw a big body kick. And then I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to kick him in case he smacks his head against the wall or something. So I pulled the kick up short and just sort of barely touched him with it, and then he grabbed my leg. And I thought, I'll just turn around and walk away. So I turned to walk away, and my other planted leg, went dead straight. And then he thought that we were still sparring, so he just threw the biggest kick he could against my knee and just blew the whole side of it out, the whole inside. And my leg was, when I was sitting down, my foot was pointed one way and my knee was pointed the other way.
Fuck me.
Yeah. So that's probably the worst.
Yeah, I'll be a long time out of the game, I will.
Yeah, that was a long time out of the game. And that's when like every time I feel like I built momentum in the sport, I'd get injured and be out for a while and have to work my way back. So,
well, you were actually training at the Legends Gym, Jackson Wink MMA, so you'd be with some killers every day, wouldn't you? Like, yeah,
that's murderers in there. Back at the start, you know, Jackson Winks was phenomenal. The guys that were there, you know, I really loved going over there and learn as much as I can. There was, like, when I first went there was guys like Keith Jardine, Joey Villasenor, and you know, Rashad Evans, all at their prime though. So they were absolute animals. St. Pierre used to come down and train with us. The list goes on. Heaps of fighters that used to come to Greg for advice.
Yeah, look at it now. You've got Cowboy. Well, Overeem was there, wasn't he? John Jones.
Overeem, John Jones.
Andrei Arlovsky, was he there? I'm pretty sure.
Andre, Frank Newell come down. We've had everyone come into the gym. But the guys that stayed were those guys like Overeem and all them.
And full of killers. Obviously, when you went there and stuff, and maybe when you first got there, I don't really know how it works in the gym, but when you get there now and like you see all these big names, and it's like, right, we're gonna do a bit of sparring now. Are you a bit like, oh fuck, I'm sparring Keith Jardine, or are you nervous?
Yeah, I was. I'd known them already. They'd come to Australia, Keith and a few other guys had come to Australia before I actually went over there, so I got to know them there first. But I've never really thought about that in that aspect. And then back then, like I'm probably one of the original Jackson Wink guys that were there. I was there long before even Cowboy and that come to the gym. So for me, back in the day, the biggest guy there was probably Keith, and then not long after that, Keith made the Ultimate Fighter, and he brought Rashad to the team. So then Rashad started coming. Then when Rashad come, St. Pierre started coming. But probably St. Pierre's probably the only guy that I've ever sparred with. I'm like, fuck, I'm sparring St. Pierre here.
Was he champ as well then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was phenomenal. His timing was ridiculous. Like I'd spar with him and I think I'm doing all right sparring. The next minute he'd be underneath me, shot, put me on my back within seconds.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even see him coming. He wasn't the best wrestler. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the best striker. He just had phenomenal timing.
Just mental timing, yeah. I say he's I'd like to see him come back actually. You say was he 38?
Yeah,
think he'd come back for a fight?
I think he would. Stays fit, stays healthy, loves to fight.
Yeah.
He wants to come back for Kib though, doesn't he?
Yeah. I follow him on Instagram. He's always working. Like he'd be in Canada, it'd be like that much of snow, and he's like digging the track so we can do some sprints. He loves it.
Yeah.
But no, but like you said, you're like the OG, one of the OGs of Jackson Wink, and I watch. Do you watch MMA World on YouTube? No, it's like a big channel, and it gives you all the news. And like it might go to Jackson Wink, and it might maybe John Jones is talking, and it shows the gym, and there's a photo. It's like a photos up on the wall.
Oh yeah.
I always see you up there. You're doing like your pose or whatever, but I always see you
with my leopard print shorts on.
I don't know what shorts, but you're doing some weird stance. It's not the traditional.
Yeah, they're trying to get everyone to do a different stance for the photos. And I didn't even know what happened photos. And I got there. And that's why I said I had these fucking wacky leopard print shorts on. So now it's up on the wall. I'm like, couldn't you at least tell me not to put a different pair of shorts on?
Yeah. But yeah, I used to, like I said, watch it. I was like, fuck, that's Kyle. That's Kyle, that is. And I paused there. I was like, that is Kyle. And now I see it all the time. You're next to like bloody, I think Overeem's up there and Andrei Arlovsky. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty sick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good honor to have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do you enjoy living in? You lived in Albuquerque, then, would you?
Mm-hmm.
You like living there? Was it a bit different to Australia, or?
It was good. To be honest, the people that were there made it what it is. All my training partners, all the guys, we'd all hang out on the weekends after training. None of us work, obviously, and we just trained our asses off. And then in between that, we just hang out and do shit. So we go, especially if you're hanging around Cowboy, you'd go wakeboarding, or he's always doing something crazy. We were doing rock climbing, snowmobiling, motorbike riding. He wanted to ride Harleys all the way up to the top of America. We just jump on the bikes and go, So, we were always keeping busy. So I don't really miss the place. I just miss hanging out with my mates over there and doing stuff like that.
That'd be awesome. Did they struggle with your accent over there?
At start they did, because I mumble a lot when I talk as well. People in Australia say I mumble, so especially over there. But man, the first time I went there, I was scared. Like all I knew of was America is what I've watched on movies. And then next minute we're going down the main street of Albuquerque, which is the third most dangerous city in America at the time. And there's a big New Year's Eve party down the main street, and I'm walking down there thinking that everyone's going to stab me.
Not bad, yeah. Or even guns, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? In America.
Guns, yeah. I had a handgun I used to carry around in my glove box. Someone give it to me for $40.
Not easy.
So I was like, well, I'll take it. And then you don't even need a license for it. You can walk around the streets with a handgun strapped to your waist. As long as everyone can see it, it's cool. If you want to hide it under your shirt, you've got to get a special license for that.
Yeah, that's that. Oh, dear. That's how it works. That's mad.
Yeah.
I was going to say, bloody
Mad, all right.
you could be as tough as you want, but if someone's got a gun, you bloody hard it. Like,
yeah.
But
that's the only thing about Albuquerque. You got to watch everyone and make sure, oh, he's got a gun. I better not fuck with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over in Wales,
I'm swearing too. I don't even know if I'm allowed to swear, but I'm swearing.
You?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you can swear. Yeah, that's bloody hell.
All right. No.
Podcast, Kyle. We're open book, right? But
I don't know what sort of audience you're trying to reach, Kerry.
Well, I missed that. You froze me. What did you say?
I said I don't know what type of audience you're trying to reach. I'm just trying to make sure I'm staying level.
Oh, it's all good. Bloody hell. I felt when I went back to listen to me and John, I think I was swearing just for no need. I think it was my first one. I was a bit nervous. So I was just filling it up with the F word, like fuck. Probably not as organised. But
and you just got the record. You got the record for saying "boy" the most times in 45 minutes.
Hey mate, that's what Welsh says. Anyway. Like you're like mate all the time. Ah, you got mate.
Yeah.
What's happening, mate?
Yeah.
But we say boy a lot of you.
You guys say boy. Yeah, I know. It's the only time is when I'm hanging around John Fraser and he says to Lucy, "Hey boy, can you drink, boy?"
To his wife, yeah. Did you say Wes to you much? Right, Wes? WUSS. You heard that one?
Nah. I think he texts it sometime though.
Yeah,
I don't know what he says half the time.
That's a big one of you.
I ignore half of what he says and listen to the other half.
That's awesome. So obviously, obviously, natural. Like you say, you've had a hell of a career in the UFC and stuff. Like, have you got like a big highlight? What really sticks out of like, bloody hell, that's awesome. I think.
Yeah, looking back now, I look at some photos of like having a massive crowd there and stuff like that. I never really appreciated when I was fighting. I always had most of my fight career had a one-track mind where I was dedicated to fighting. My last 3 fights, I was kind of checked out by then and didn't really want to be there. But all the other ones, it wasn't until the fight was over. Even when I was fighting it, I remember probably one of my biggest fights was thousands of people in Australia. I think it was one of the biggest at the time. It was like 55,000 or something. And after, I didn't even realize that after the fight, I sort of switched back to reality where I was like, fuck, there's a crowd here watching this. And then I looked around like, holy shit, look how many people are in here. But I just had tunnel vision about the fight the whole time. So even in my mind, when I try and think back of the fight, I can only see me and my opponent and like one light shining down on me and that's it.
Peter Sabata, eh?
What's that?
Peter Sabata.
That wasn't that fight. That was a Chris Camozzi fight.
I thought it was Peter Samata. You was in the Etihad.
That was in Etihad. Yeah, I fought him there. That was awesome too.
Where was Chris Camozzi then? What stadium was that in?
He was in Sydney, and I think it was UFC 127 where BJ Penn fought John Fitch on the main card.
Oh, did you fought in a stadium for that too? Did you? A big one.
Yeah, we fought. I forget what it was. It was in Sydney.
It wouldn't be the rugby one of the rugby stadiums, is it?
Yeah, can't remember.
All right. All right.
Should remember.
I honestly thought there was the Melbourne one, which obviously Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey fought. I thought that was like the first time in a stadium, and obviously it was like nearly 60,000 people there, wasn't it? And you had.
No, I think that was the first time they may have had it in Melbourne.
Ah, right. I got
you. Before that, they've had them in Adelaide, Brisbane, Sydney. I fought on the Adelaide. I fought in the Sydney one a couple times. Yeah. And then obviously fought over America and Germany, all over the world with UFC.
Oh, you fought Germany too, have you?
Yeah, I fought in Germany. Yeah. Then we stuck around for 2 weeks after because I was going there. I've never been to Germany. So I said to my buddy at the time, Joey Villasenor, he used to come to all my fights with me. I'm like, look, we're going over there. We're going to stay there for a month. He's like, I can't do a month. I'm like, come on, man, let's just go. And he's like, so the UFC is paying for our flights. Let's take advantage of it. Yeah. He's like, all right, I can stay for a week and that's it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I told the UFC to keep us 2 weeks. I thought, fuck him, he'll be right. He's like me, he doesn't work. He ain't want to get back to his missus. So I was like, all right, we're staying for 2 weeks. I told the UFC. So we flew to Germany, had the fight, won the fight, and then straight after that, we stayed for a night or two, one night maybe, and then we went straight on the train to Amsterdam. And Yeah, obviously, as soon as we got there to the shop, eating the brownies and stuff like that, and then none of us had mushrooms, so we're in Amsterdam, we got to try them. So we went and bought some mushrooms, and we say to the guy, "This is our first time. We've never had them before. You know, give us something that's good for us for our first time." He's like, "Oh yeah, no worries, take these ones." So we go outside and we split it up between three of us, and we smash them. And then we were walking around the whole city, and it was the craziest experience I've had. But we were lost for hours and hours inside this, and then we went back to the place next day where we got them from, because it was such it rocked us. And we went back and we're like, "Man, what'd you give us? That really fucking hit us." He's like, "Oh yeah, I give you these ones here," and he points to there's a scale, and they go from the least potent to the most potent, and he gives us the second most potent ones. He's like, "Man, it's your first time. You got to try the best ones. You can't go trying the bad ones further off the go." So we were off our faces. It was awesome, though. I had the best time.
Did you go the strongest one then the next day?
No, we didn't have it the next day. We jumped back on the plane, went back to Germany.
Yeah. No, Amsterdam's it's a mad place. I remember the first time I went there, it's just like obviously the red light district and the smell of weed and just everyone's having a good time, and it's like a different world, isn't it? If you go to
unreal. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait till this COVID's gone so I can start traveling again.
Go away, was like weed and stuff legal in New Mexico when you were there? Living?
At the end there it was legal. You could go into a dispensary and buy it. You didn't need a license or anything like that.
Yeah. And obviously, can you smoke like a joint walking through the streets in New Mexico? Or was it?
I don't know whether you can do it walking through the streets. But everyone's they got little handheld vaporizers over there, and everyone's just smoking through those.
Yeah. I can say that's quite a big thing. UFC's done now. They've legalized like weed now, haven't they? Marijuana.
Yeah, they have.
I think they say you just can't have it 24 hours for a fight or something. Is that right? Something like that?
Yeah, that's right.
But it
sucks for all the guys that have been banned in the past and being banned from smoking weed 2 weeks before their fight.
Yeah.
They look at a guy like Pat Healy who won his fight, got fight of the night, I think it was, submission of the night. So he ended up getting paid like $100,000, and they give it to him, and then 3 months later his test results come back. So he'd already had the money for 3 months, and he'd already spent some of it, and they're like, "Look, you've failed your drug test for weed. You're gonna have to give back your win bonuses. You have to give back your fight of the night bonus, your whatever else he got bonus, and then have to give back his win bonus, and then pay a percentage out of his purse."
Fuck, that's wrong. That is, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just for weed.
Yeah, and obviously, Nick Diaz is the biggest one. Was it?
Yeah.
Kelvin
Jackson got done, didn't he? I'll say pay the guys more money for fighting on weed.
I know.
I don't want to sit down and relax, and I don't want to hurt a fly. If you can get up and fight someone when you're high, geez, pay that guy some money.
Didn't Mike Tyson, he openly said he had a joint before his Roy Jones fight, didn't he? He literally, before he went out, he openly said, "I had to have a joint before I had a fight." Yeah. But, to be honest, I think that'd be the last thing I'd need, going to fight another human being, you know?
Hell yeah. Like I said, I just want to relax and eat.
Yeah.
And be chill.
Maybe it's something you do at the end, like you said, at the end of a hard session or something like that, but not before a fight.
Yeah. No way.
No, I thought you were going to say, Kyle, talking highlight of your career, when you went backstage in Melbourne and you had Thor himself come up to you, Chris Hemsworth, saying, "Hey, I used to watch you fight on the TV." And
I didn't even know. I'd run into him, and he said, he walked in, and I looked at him and I said, "Fuck this, Chris Hemsworth." And then he sort of looked at me and he was like, sussing me out. And then he went to watch the fights, and on the way back, I'd stop him and it's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh yeah." And then I introduced myself. He's like, "Oh yeah, see, I used to watch you on the set before, in between when he was filming the movie. So when you're on The Ultimate Fighter and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh fuck, that's awesome, someone like him bringing right into the fights and watching them." I claim it that he's my mate now. So
if you get him on the podcast, have a word with him for me. Flip into his DMs. How would he get a rig like Thor, and I'll talk to him about his body and stuff. Because that was what was it? Yeah, you were cornering Groovy Landavanato, weren't you, that week?
Yes, I was.
And in the co-main event of Adesanya versus Silva. And was that, yeah,
Yes.
did we go out on the piss
No,
after?
wasn't it?
Yeah, the Sanya.
What's that?
We went out on the piss afterwards then, didn't we? Or was that after John's fight?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but
That
either
was
way,
not.
I
Yep.
showed my missus, like, oh, fuck, look at Kylie, this is Chris Hemsworth. And she was just like, she loves Chris Hemsworth. And she was like, oh my God, do you reckon like she could like get him out of this and all that stuff? I'm like, fuck, as if Chris Hemsworth is just going to come to Richmond on the piss and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
You must have rubbed shoulders with a couple of celebs, though. Like, you've fought on some massive cards and, you know, you've been around the top of the top boys.
Yeah, and we've had a few of them come to Jackson before, like Joel Edgerton, who's an Australian guy. I don't know if you say his last name. I can't remember how to say it. But even being at the zoo, you know, we had celebrities come out all the time, like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and Owen Wilson, Kate Hudson. There's so many people I got to meet through there. Owen Wilson was, when he comes to the zoo, Kate Hudson would be out there. They were together at the time, and she'd be patting all the animals and shit. And Owen would be hiding behind a tree that's about as big as my finger. And he'd be standing behind the tree like this and thinking that nobody can see him. And then someone would walk up to him with an animal and be like, oh, no, thanks. And he sort of try and hide behind the tree again. So I don't know what he was on, but.
Owen Wilson, that's mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's, yeah, like you said, you would have met loads, especially being around Steve. You'd have had loads of, because Steve, he would have been big in the US too, would he? Obviously.
Oh, it's massive in the US.
Worldwide then, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We used to say he's like a celebrity. So like oh shit, there's such and such. Now there's Chris Hemsworth. For them, it'd be like, oh shit, Steve Irwin, and they'd want to run up to him and be fangirls on Steve.
And even like his daughter Bindi, she went to that show in America a few years back, didn't she? Dancing with the Stars, she did in the US.
Oh yeah, and won it too.
And she won it, yeah. So obviously to get to be on a show like that in the US, like Bindi Irwins, obviously they know who Steve was, you know. But
yes, yeah, he had all these shows were on Discovery Channel and Animal Planet and all that. So and then Bindi's also got shows that she puts out over there. So yeah, Americans love him.
They love him. He's so different, like. Pretty random, but when I went to America, to New Orleans, I did a swamp tour there, and I was on one of those boats, and it was a massive snake, like a huge one. I don't know what it was. It was thick, and it was nothing in front of me. It was just like railings, and I was like shitting myself, went proper back like that. And all the Americans was laughing at me. It's like, dude, it's only a snake, man. I'm like, that snake can just come through those bars and bite me. You know what I mean? But then as we were going further down, there was alligators in the water, and they were just resting. Yeah. And I was looking over, just like, oh, fuck, alligator. And the American was like, dude, you're afraid of what did they say to me? You're afraid of a snake, but you're not afraid of an alligator. But to me, I think a snake would have, I don't know, I was just more scared of the snake. I was
after the snake's faster and go at you.
Yeah, I don't think an alligator would have jumped up. It wouldn't have got between the bars.
Steve used to call him frog with teeth.
Frogs with teeth?
Yeah.
What, alligators? Why?
Alligators, just placid, not real aggressive. Like saltwater crocodiles are super aggressive. Alligators are kind of chill.
Yeah. My mate, I don't know if you've met him. John obviously knows him. Rodrigu Clancy, his name is. And he lives up in, where does he live? Ellie Beach. And he's doing an Ironman this year in Cairns.
Yep.
And I said, boy, are you swimming in the sea? He goes, yeah. I said, is there fucking saltwater Crocs up there? He's like, yeah, there are, but it's one of them things you got to risk. Surely they can't allow that, can they? Just do it. You know the Ironman?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you swim in the ocean,
it's not even the Crocs. It's the jellyfish up there can kill you. And they're the size of your pinky now. You can't even see them. You get stung by one of them and they'll kill you.
Yeah, I forgot about them, the jellyfish. Because they paralyze your body, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just the Crocs. It's everything up North Queensland trying to kill you.
Yeah, I'm going to have a word with him, I think. But I said, what are you doing? He's doing it for charity, but he's not going to pull out now. But bloody hell.
Yeah.
Waters, jellyfish, stuff like that. Anyway, Kyle, what's next for you, boy? I know you've been doing a bit of jiu-jitsu still. You did a comp a couple of weeks back, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're gonna.
I don't want to talk about it.
No.
I know.
You still
I did a jiu-jitsu comp. Yeah, I've started doing a few jiu-jitsu comps and been going real good. Got asked to do one a couple of weeks ago and didn't really train for it. Sort of just took it half-hearted. Started training the week before it. Got to the match. Every time I try to engage with this guy, he just pull guard and sit on his butt. And then I try to come down into his guard and just lock up like a half guard on me, or he'd lock up, pull full guard and just try and lock it up. And I'd be always diving for his heels, trying to go for submissions. He tried to do one triangle on me. So the whole 10-minute round was just basically him sitting on his butt every time we'd stand and me trying to sit down and go for a leg lock. And then at the end of the fight, the Brazilian, it went to a ref decision and the Brazilian ref gave it to him. So I wasn't happy about the decision. I think we both should have lost for having a boring fight.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I should have trained more. I should have put more pressure on myself. Yeah.
So you kind of went in there a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not too much. I don't know too much about jiu-jitsu, but obviously you said a ref decision, so it's no judges. The ref decides, is it?
There were judges, but the ref can always overrule the judges in this competition we ran in. It was supposed to be submission only, so I thought, at least it's going to be a draw, or but like I said, both of us probably should have lost. We should have just put his thumb down for both of us like that.
Yeah.
On either side, because we both were horrible. But yeah.
How long?
Next time I'll go in 100%.
Oh, good. You're going to rematch him, yeah, the guy?
I've been trying to get a rematch with him, but they don't want to do it. They want me to fight someone else and then go back and rematch him.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm probably going to have shoulder surgery now, so I'm probably out for a while.
That what's happened from that jiu-jitsu comp?
No, it's been sore for a long time. John actually popped it out one day when we were wrestling, so I blame him for it 4 years ago.
Oh, it's that.
And it just hasn't been the same, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse to the point now I got a scan on the other day and they said the supraspinatus tendon is torn and it's retracted inside my shoulder and there's a couple other tears and my AC joint's gone. And so I was like, I might as well get it fixed now because it's hurting pretty much all the time and it's hard to lift.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And now you got, like you said, you're not fighting now, you. So you couldn't do it when you were doing it because when you were fighting. So there's no big fight could drag you into the cage or the ring one more time, man.
Oh, absolutely. I'd get in there one more time. I want to fight in ONE FC.
Yeah.
It was always my dream to fight in Pride, and then Pride folded, obviously, and the UFC bought them out. So, I was at that point where I actually wanted to go to Pride instead of UFC. UFC wasn't on my radar. But then when they folded and the UFC bought them, the only option then was to go to the UFC. So that's why I moved to the States, and I was like, all right, I'll give this a go.
That'd be awesome, yeah. What about, I saw a couple of months back, you give Paul Garland a call out too, didn't you?
Yeah, he was saying that MMA fighters weren't that good and he'd beaten Mark Hunt and, thought he's the man. So I called him out. I'd love to fight him. I'm, pushing 90-something kilos myself. So, I could be up there and I could be big and I'd be a lot faster than Mark. I could move around and I think I'd outwork Garland, but, it's funny. I'd fight Paul Garland. I think I can win. I would never fight Mark Hunt. So
it's done all together.
Yeah, I think I could dance around Garland enough. I don't think I could dance around Mark Hunt.
What do you think of Garland as a boxer? Is he all right?
Yeah, I think he's good. He's got a test with him now fighting Lucas Brown. But
was he fighting him? Is he?
Yeah. So, and Lucas Brown's had a world title, I think, or got one. He's a decent boxer. So this will be his first real test against a boxer.
Yeah.
But I think he's tough. He can take a shot. Like there's not. It'd be hard to knock him out, but he'll just keep coming and he'll keep walking forward. And he's just I think he's quite good.
Yeah, but like I say, he's like 10-0, isn't he? Like I know it's been a lot of obviously rugby league players he's fought and stuff, but. Still, 10 wins.
They still fights.
Yeah, still a fight, exactly.
Still fights, and he's winning, and he doesn't look bad. And look who he just beat. He just beat Mark Hunt, who's probably one of the best knockout artists in the world. So, Mark couldn't put him away.
Yeah,
you got to give him his props.
You see a lot of like the rugby league going into boxing. Like obviously, Sonny Bill Williams is a big one, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Have you seen Sam Thaiday doing it too? Isn't he? Or has he done it?
Yeah, no, he had a fight a couple of weeks back. And I think he lost.
Oh, he lost.
But, a lot of the guys are doing it. I think it's good for their fitness, so they get in there and have a go. But Paul Gallen's probably the best of all the rugby league guys that have had a fight. And then, he's been trying to call Sonny Bill out even for a while, but apparently Sonny Bill won't fight him. So,
Sonny Bill,
he's not.
Is he? Yeah.
No, well, not. He's not dodging anyone. He's not shying away from anyone. And now he's fighting. He just fought Mark, like I said. And now he's fighting Lucas Brown, who's a legitimate heavyweight champ that he was.
Yeah. No, we'll start a petition on the podcast, Kyle. Noke v Garland, should we? I'll get the hashtags going.
Let's do it. Get it going. Let me know. So I'll start bulking up and get it done before I have surgery.
I say you're on the old carnivore diet now, you?
Yeah, I am loving it.
Just eating kidneys and stuff like that, like.
Yeah, not the kidneys. You can have them. I'll eat the liver and the heart, though.
How are you finding it? Like, so literally all you're doing is eating meat. Are you eating salad and veg or no?
No salad and veg. I eat meat and fruit.
Meat and fruit, yeah, right.
And I've been feeling great on it. I train 2 or 3 times a day, plenty of energy. I'm like putting on more muscle and doing less weights and getting lean at the same time. So, I think it's the amount of protein that I'm eating, and I never feel full. I never feel bloated anymore. I don't feel gassy. I don't feel anything. I feel strong off it. And then if I have a big steak for dinner, I feel like it gives me energy, especially with all the fat that I put in it. So I have that, and then for my carbs and glucose, then I have sugar. I have fruit, and then maybe a little bit of honey, and that's about it.
That's it every day. Do you weigh your foods or anything or no?
No, never.
Just eat what you want, like. But
that's what I mean. With this, I can eat whatever I want, and I'm losing fat every time I do. I just go for the biggest steak I can find with the most fat on it. If I'm having something to eat, go big with it.
You do look. I'll be honest. You look thick now, mind. I saw one of John's posts, and you've obviously done training, and you're both like. I know John's a big dude, and you look fucking thick. Yeah. Like you look chunky, yeah.
Yeah. Did John have his shirt off?
I think you did as well. I think. I can't remember.
Anytime John gets under 95 kilos, the shirt comes off. Doesn't matter where he is. You go for a coffee. We went to the shopping centre the other day, and he conveniently forgot his shirt.
Oh yeah, I just forget your shirt as you do.
I had to walk through the shopping centre with no shirt on. Sit down and have a coffee with him in the shopping centre with no shirt on. I tell you, anytime he drops under 95,
it's off all the time. Fair play to him.
Yeah,
it's quite. When I was writing your notes down, I had a shock. You were actually, because I've been around you, and you are a big guy. I had a shock. You fought a welterweight for a good 5 years, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's quite crazy.
I started my career at welterweight, 77 kilos. Actually had 5 or 6 fights, and then there was a lightweight guy challenged me. He's like, I'll go up to 77. I said, no, fuck it. I'll come down and meet you at 72.5 or whatever it was. So I even got down to that low before, and then back to welterweight, and then started bulking up and went to middleweight for a long time. And then it's weird for me. Every time if I fight too soon, it's hard for me to put the weight back on. So when I was fighting at middleweight, I wasn't getting big enough. I started losing muscle. So I dropped back down to welterweight again and then stayed there.
Yeah. Do you find now
I know it's probably just what's that?
No, I was going to say, did you find it hard getting to welterweight though, or was it?
No. I enjoy the weight cut. I like sitting in the sauna. I enjoy it all. Enjoy the whole process. I like the fight before the fight, so it mentally prepares me.
Yeah, you feel like you go fight. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'd be in the sauna. Everyone else would be sitting down. I'd be standing up, shadow boxing, and the sauna's moving around, getting that sweat a lot quicker. And I usually only had to sweat for about an hour to lose about 4 kilos. So, yeah.
I think that'd be the worst part. Like, you get a lot of fighters say it. There's 2 fights, isn't it? You got the weight cut, then the actual fight.
Yes.
It'll be hard. But John said on the podcast I did with him, he finds it easier getting to middleweight than he did getting a light heavyweight. And you think...
Yeah, he's making middleweight a lot easier than light heavyweight too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just struggle.
If you think of it, you'd think it'd be harder, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know. But you know what? He's in better shape. His body's burning everything it's got. It's more efficient, so cutting weight's easier. And then when he was fighting at 93 kilos, he was doing trips to Wales on his off when he wasn't fighting. He'd be getting up to 118 kilos and coming back just massive, and then having to cut from 118 back down to 93. The boy loves a chicken wing.
You like the chicken wing? No, that's crazy. Like you say, and Aldo's another one, isn't he? He fights bantamweight now, and no one ever thought he could do bantamweight because he struggled at featherweight, and it's like quite a crazy thing if you think of it like that. But
the more natural weight, I think, for everyone.
It's what?
I think it's just when you hit your like natural optimal weight, I think that makes it easier for you to cut weight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, it's quite, I don't know. I say for me now, like I've always been quite a big guy, and I'm down to 90 kilos now, 91. And I thought...
Is that because you've been punching that heavy bag all the time still?
Punching the heavy bag, yeah, running.
I've seen your videos. Looking better and better every time.
Yeah,
sharper and sharper.
I'm doing this bloody running challenge at the minute. I have to run 10K every day for all of March, so it's 300K a month. So, I've tried to up my calories a bit so I don't go too small. But, yeah, I never thought I could get down to, like, 90 kilos because I've always been 100, 105 all the time, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's amazing.
So what are you now?
90 kilo.
Shit, it's good.
So, yeah, got a bit of ab, Kyle. I have to show you some photos.
Put a photo up.
Yeah, but no, it's one of them things. You know, until you actually try it and you change your diet up a bit, you'd be surprised what you can do with your body, innit?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Well, listen, Kyle, boy, we coming up to an hour. Goes quick, doesn't it?
Oh, geez, we break the record.
I think we're the second longest. My record's hour and 5, and we're on 57 minutes. So,
right. What was Doyley's?
Doyley was 53, I think, or 52.
Right.
So,
and we don't talk as slow as Doyley either.
Hey, it was early for Doyley. I'll give him that. I know what it's like getting up early and trying to talk. But no, he's had some awesome stuff. Like people couldn't believe his injury and stuff. It's crazy, bloody mad. Isn't it?
I know. When he first came and said he wanted to train with us, I was like, oh shit, I don't want anyone to swing their heel and smash. Jiu-jitsu is like you run into each other and stuff. I was like, what if someone runs over his head? But no, he was cool. He knows how to look after it, I guess, and he's a super nice guy. I just wanted to rib him a little bit, but yeah, he's an awesome bloke. I'm glad he came and we got to meet him at the gym, and yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, you've gone, Kyle. Where have you gone?
Sorry, boy, I got a phone call. I had to hang up. His mum. Mum's calling me.
So that's my cue, boy. But that's awesome, Kyle. Before you go, though, as I ask everyone, anything you want to give a shout out to or where everyone can find you on social media and stuff?
Oh, just Kyle Noke at whatever I'm on. But I got a couple of sponsors that are like Author Supply Co. here in Australia that always send me good gear to wear, rashies and stuff like that, and then Engage for their fight shorts that always send me still too. So, them guys look after me, so give them a little shout out.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Kyle. Kyle Noke, everyone.
No worries at all.
Kyle Noke, everyone. Yo.